This was the week where we found out that, like the piece of scalp he had removed to squanch the bald off his head, Donald Trump has a lot of communications from January 6th that are missing. That is according to the January 6th Congressional Committee investigating the events of that day. So they've now discovered they knew maybe there was some withholding. But now we know exactly how much withholding there's been. This is from the Washington Post. Internal White House records from the day of the attack on the U.S. Capitol that were turned over to the House Select Committee show a gap in President Donald Trump's phone logs of 7 hours and 37 minutes.
The whole freaking day.
It's a pretty long chunk of time, including the period when the building was being violently assaulted, according to documents obtained by Washington Post and CBS News. Hang on.
Wow.
Let's see. So just so you guys, let's see. Okay. So there was a lack of any official White House notation of any calls placed to or by Trump for 457 minutes on January 6th from 11:17 a.m. to 6:54 p.m. Means the committee has no record of his phone conversations as his supporters descended onto the Capitol, battled overwhelmed police, and forcibly entered the building, prompting lawmakers and Vice President Mike Pence to flee for safety. Now, remember how Trump was trying to sue to not even turn over any of these documents, and he lost that, but Clarence Thomas obviously voted that, yeah, I know he should keep the documents. Then we found out that his wife was basically helped plan to stop the Steele rally. The point is, there is something called the Presidential Records Act that requires the preservation of memos, letters, notes, emails, faxes, and other written communications related to a president's official duties. National Archives website states the presidential diary should be a chronological record of the president's movements, phone calls, trips, and meetings. So, we might think this country is going to hell in a handbasket, but God damn it, we are going to document every single moment of it.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing will be lost.
Well, that's how you'll know in like 10 to 15 years when none of those people could actually be prosecuted or punished. That's when they'll tell us anyway. So
right. Everyone's got to release their book.
Yes.
And
like everything else, I'm excited to see the Ken Burns on it, where I get the full depth of all the information. That, like, the second you just read that act, I was like, yeah, that's how we know Reagan literally gave money to prove that I was less of a human. Like, yeah, we find out all of that stuff just way later when people are tired and exhausted and don't care.
The National Archives, come on now.
I want to start a hashtag to find Trump's burner phone, because that's all I was thinking the whole time you were talking, is that there's a burner phone somewhere in a drawer.
Oh yeah. So not only the records that have already been turned over are a little sus, but now that we know there's just, there is this gap. Now, does that mean no one spoke to anyone in that time? No, of course not.
Fine, that carrier pigeon, he's going to talk.
It's like every time in Game of Thrones they would like send a raven. I'd always do the same stupid joke, was like the raven lands and just like caw 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 caw. That's how I would like it to go down. God damn it. But so yes, you're right actually, that now the committee is looking into whether or not there were burner phones, and according to the Rolling Stone, there were burner phones. So they've got 3 sources who say that a guy named Kylie Kramer took one of the phones and used it to communicate with top White House and Trump campaign officials. These are 3 burner phones that were purchased, including Eric Trump, the president's oldest son, who leads the family's real estate business, Lara Trump, Eric's wife and former senior Trump campaign consultant, and Mark Meadows, the former White House chief of staff, and Katrina Pearson, a Trump surrogate and campaign consultant.
My new least favorite Katrina.
God damn it. The first one being the hurricane, obviously.
But also, I was joking about burner phones. What? No.
I was like, oh, she's given up the ghost. No. That's exactly how it went down.
I did not think you were going to say that.
No. I mean, these guys are as scummy as your mind.
Wow.
Like, it's just not fair. Anything we can imagine they do, they've already done it. Kramer, by the way, helped plan the Ellipse rally, which was the rally that Trump spoke at, that Rudy Giuliani spoke at, a bunch of other people. So he directed an aide to pick up 3 burner phones the day before Jan 6, according to 3 sources. And one of the sources was a member of the March for Trump team. And he insisted that Kramer said the phone should be purchased using cash and described this as being of the utmost importance. Yeah.
What?
And like, what, the thing is like, all of this is, here's what I will say. None of this surprises me. I do kind of want to see the text message from Trump that's like, lol, one of them has a Holocaust denier shirt. You know what I mean? Like, I need that shirt. Whatever the fuck racist thing he's gonna say. Like, I want,
Like, you want the texts that are him like live tweeting the insurrection, and it's
Yes.
just like his real time everything.
Yeah. I'm watching the girl from Plainville on Hulu, the woman who convinced her boyfriend.
Yes.
I have thoughts, but convinced her boyfriend to kill himself. And it's just that. It's like endless text messages back and forth. Like, when are you going to smear the feces on Nancy Pelosi's desk? I'm waiting. Like maybe there was a photo of it. Just, and it's, here's what I said. I've said this before, but I really feel it's all clicking. I'm putting the fucking pieces together, which is, you see the way the most recent sort of like MAGA rally has gone down, which is the truckers thing, right? The like march for, I don't know, what are they marching? I forgot what it's called, but like the truckers being anti-vaxxers and like anti-Biden and let's go Brandon, blah, 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 blah. That shit fizzled out super quick. And it's so clear why. Why do things like the Tea Party catch fire, create incredible, like, insane right-wing movements? Why do things like critical race theory and all this trans hate, why do those things catch fire? It's because they're all fucking astroturfed by wealthy think tanks, politicians, wives of Supreme Court justices. The same with January 6th. You see all the people involved and you're like, oh yeah, they all wanted this to succeed. It was an inside-outside plan involving alternate electors on the inside and a straight up storming the Bastille on the outside. So yeah, that's why it was so successful, because they all wanted it to succeed. Like, nothing on the right happens in an organic way. It's all astroturfed. So that's what I keep on coming back to. Anyway, well, who knows? The last call Trump made that day was 6:54. The next call after this silence, and he instructed the operator to call Dan Scavino Jr. What did the operator say? Like, oh, sir, good to hear from you. Haven't heard from you in a while.
Today was crazy.
Yeah. Have you been watching?
He tried to Amy Schumer the Oscars and just be like, what I miss? Is there anything going on? You guys seem stressed.
Very important response. My God. Anyway, we will see. Last thing I'm going to say on this is important is Mark Meadows, obviously former chief of staff, the last chief of staff to Trump, has been held in criminal contempt, not just by the January 6th committee, right, which is a subsect of Congress, but of all of the House of Representatives. So the House voted, yeah. He's held in criminal contempt. They refer him to the Department of Justice. Who's at the head of the Department of Justice? That's Merrick Garland. Merrick Garland in 4 months has not done shit. He's not, I mean, I'm like, he's not arrested him. He's not said you need to turn yourself in or you get arrested. You're being held in criminal contempt. If it were any of us, this would have been over by now. 2 other people the committee just represented for criminal contempt for their lack of participation in the committee. So they won't testify. They won't hand over more documents. Mark Meadows was sort of compliant in the beginning, and then he stopped being. So Dan Scavino, the guy who got the last call, and Peter Navarro, again, another one of these sort of weasels that's was in the Trump administration. And here's Garland being asked about it this week by a reporter, saying, "What the hell? Why aren't we doing more when it comes to January 6th accountability?" And this is what he had to say.
And my off-topic question is, it's been coming up on 4 months now since Congress referred Mark Meadows to you guys for contempt of Congress, asking you to prosecute him. What's taking so long?
Well, again, on your off-topic conversation, we don't comment on ongoing referrals. This was a referral, and so we're not able to comment on that. On the on-topic,
Great. Awesome. So
No, yeah.
we're nothing. Nothing's happened, and we don't know. And so, but we'll see. I think the clock is ticking, right? Has to be done before the midterms because then the House may flip and become Republican, and then all this criminal contempt shit goes away. Like there's no more. Anywho, I don't know.
I mean, considering how we saw how quickly some protesters can be snatched up, I wash my hands of any real consequences being placed on anyone a long time ago. Like, I had way too many friends not trying to get into anywhere end up in the back of a van for half of a night for me to think that they're gonna backtrack and go find whatever, dude.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, and even the people who stormed the Capitol, I'm like, yeah. It's, I know that, hundreds have been arrested and charged, and that's a small drop in the bucket to the thousands that were there. But I'm like, this is small fish. This is small fry bullshit. We've talked on this show about some of the now sting operations being set up against the the so-called extremists on the right, which I'm like, part of my mind is like, yeah, I guess that's okay. You're entrapping sometimes innocent people, but also go for the people who actually organize this. Go for the people inside the building. Of course, they won't do that. All right, why don't we go to some comments, and then we're gonna bring in my guest, my second guest, fat guy named Tiny on Twitch. Do we want to start taking wagers on how long Amazon closes that facility now? I mean, right? Like, and that's I don't know. I don't know if they can't afford to, right? Like, where are they going to go to Jersey? And like, what's going to happen?
Well, everything you were saying before, Francesca, I was talking with my mom about, who's actually done a lot of like negotiations on behalf of people for union
Oh,
contracts when
nice.
they like get renewed and stuff like that. And she was like, what you said about they are trying to maintain a model. And also me having a marketing degree and just looking at people, looking at a piece of paper and being like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're comparing it to this company, these outputs and all this stuff, and thinking that they were going to somehow get Americans to work in the way that warehouses would work in all the places they can't afford to outsource. Like they're trying
Right.
to, I think, apply all of that and then be offended at the idea that Americans wouldn't adhere to those labor conditions. Like
Right.
the idea of someone being so rich and they're the company and being like, even the phrasing of that letter where they're almost like their feelings are hurt
They're
that you
disappointed.
don't want to work there under these conditions. And I think that it is obviously capitalism, but the mental idea of like completely disconnecting that these people, that is unacceptable to them, are we have not been put in a situation where our financial desperation has made us take these sacrifices yet.
Yeah.
Like we are a developed country where like people can even go move in with their parents, whatever it is that keeps us from being literally on a in a place that doesn't have flooring. Like until we get, that's where they want us to be, where
Sure.
we could
Uh,
accept the conditions that they get to run other people under.
Dude, I know. I think we're at a crossroads of like, I think the pandemic assistance really did help people and gave them, a more of a leg to stand on. And now that a lot of that's running out, I think you're right that Amazon and other corporations are banking on the fact that shit's going to get so desperate and so bad. We
Yes.
talked about Applebee's last week, the CEO getting the one of the executives getting very excited about gas prices because it was going to hurt workers even more. They were going to be even
Mm.
more desperate. So yeah, your mom's right on the money. Like they're just waiting for shit to get bad.
Everything is a game. Like I always think about this. I know this is a really old example, but like they priced how much it would cost to fix the Pinto over people dying and what those lawsuits could potentially cost them, and made the choice to not fix the car. So if you think that they haven't already calculated how desperate or poor we have to get to say yes or no to something, like absolutely they are just figuring out if they have to, even what people have been saying about how much money Amazon spent fighting this and how
Yeah.
much less it would have been.
Yes.
It's because of the precedent it would set for past that. It would technically be less, but they would rather spend 10 times that amount making sure that this never comes up again.
Absolutely. A couple more comments. Justin Crawford says that they work in a book distribution center and Amazon is our biggest client. They're so disorganized. Fun. On Trump, Soccer Pizza says he was just ordering a lot of pizzas. Nothing to see here. I love that Soccer Pizza wants to make everything about pizza. Wow.
Got a brand.
Yeah, exactly. What if he was kicking around soccer balls? Metal Turtle 571 says probably that Trump's burner phones are in a McWrapper behind a clogged toilet somewhere. And Hef, thank you for the super chat. Garland, Jeff Curry says Garland looks like he could be related to Manchin. Just saying. That's true. They've got the same sort
Oh
of
my
weird middle
gosh.
part.
The
damn
nepotism. It goes all the way to the top.
Yes. They're the same. They're brothers. You start seeing it everywhere. I don't know.
Yes, all the faces just start melting into the same. If you run them, there's going to be a video that just runs them all super fast, like that old Michael Jackson video. And you're like, they're kind of the same person.
Like black or white.
Yes, it just morphs.
That's
Like
true.
Black John Cena. We could go real deep with this theory if we're just going to go full on.
Who is the Black John Cena?
He just went viral because there's a very attractive black man that looks like John Cena, but black. And then John Cena reposted him and was like, hey, look at this handsome black guy that looks like me. And it's just like Black John Cena, but he does look like John Cena. It's pretty sweet.
What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.